It's 8:19 p.m. and we will reconvene we're on agenda item number 8. I'll entertain a motion to accept the resignation of these two. Second. All in favor, say aye. Have it. Carries. I'll entertain a motion that we post for the position of police chief by the end of this month. An application submitted by the end of the month. Motion.
Post on TML and TPOL.
Post on TML and TPOL websites. Motion. Second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. And I'll entertain a motion that we create a selection committee comprised of the mayor, Lynette, and Sergeant Lopez to filter through and find the best 5 or 6 to present at the public hearing to follow the first week of August. Entertain that motion. All in favor, say aye. Have it. Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. We're adjourned at 8:20 p.m. We will now open. We have a budget hearing from the end of the day. I'd like to
put it in recess since we opened that one first. So I have it in recess. 6:32.
Okay. Okay, so we're coming out of recess on the budget hearing at 8:20 p.m. We're at dispense with the pledge of allegiance and invocation. Okay, then we're on agenda item 5A. Discuss, review, and take possible action regarding okay. So 5A, discuss and take possible action regarding Texas Municipal Retirement System 2027 published contribution rates.
Okay, Mayor and Council, Mayor and Commissioners, we have got our new rates in for TMRS. Everything is going up. We have favorite every year now, pretty high. So our normal cost came out to about 7.38. Now it's coming up to 7.52 on the contribution rate. Now, as you know, you do not have to adopt it. You can adopt it at any rate you personally want, or we can keep it the way it is. But we can't go above 7.52.
That's 7.52%.
Yes.
Of the employee's salary.
Salary. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
So what
Now, surrounding cities, I would say you were the more of the highest, other than the county. I think the county's at 4%, the max. But you here are higher than any other city that I know. But I can see that.
Do we have, what's the rough median in your county?
I don't know very kind of know tell these small cities, but they're at 4 to 5.
Do we also pay Social Security?
Yes, of course. So this is TMRS. This is retirement.
Yeah.
So this is just the retirement fund. So this isn't about the matching taxes and like and all that.
Do we have any? Is there any way to kind of? I know this is a percentage. Is there a way to quantify that? 1% is roughly $10,000.
So take. Yes, I can actually. So based upon, say, one position. So based upon the, say, $70,000 salary, based on your oldest administrative salary that you have here, the TMRS came out to $11,000 a year.
At the old rate.
At the old rate.
Now, is it something we have to
So
decide today?
$10,000 No, it's something I just wanted to bring to your attention, we do need to vote on it, I do have to have a resolution on it, right? I have to have a resolution on this, and then I need this number so I can, format your budget. So I can format the current rate, I can go back and adjust it, as of this time, we only have we have three full-time employees, because you have to work a minimum of like 30 hours.
Yeah.
Is it 30, 50 minus? I think 30. 30 or 32. Right, I know.
Yeah.
But we can table this, if Jacob wants to do it that way, we can table it and come back. This is something.
I just thought it was going to go a little first.
Yes.
And,
As of right now, I have formatted the numbers I'm about to give you, based on the first two months.
you might table it for your B, discuss and take possible action regarding capital project.
So for me to be able to format the budget the way that I need to know exactly what kind of capital projects you're looking at now. Before I say that, I'll know that we're very limited money. So please, I know I would love to repay the street and do all kind of really good stuff, but we need to kind of be a little bit stingy right now with funding. So I would like a bullet point item of things that you would like me to look into, cost-wise, to build into the budget.
Didn't we recently, it was the last year or two, revise our street maintenance plan?
We do, we had realized that we do have money for that. I do have some in the budget for you, but honestly, it's not gonna be much to do much with the budget.
So, but we had it ranked.
I don't have it right.
Because the original one, they ranked like which streets need work.
No, I would love that, it's something where,
I think we need to keep that,
revisit on that, to tell me kind of an idea of what we want to do, because as you know, based on the amount and stuff, I might be engineering involved and all that, we have a lot of money.
but I spoke with the commissioner about our CDBG promising, but I don't know what if any match, you know, for this year, it might be that we have to do the match, or we have to do something on our end to effectuate that, so.
Do we have an active CDBG going on right now?
So we might call the commissioner's office and get some details. What if any, but if not,
I saw the funding that came in, I didn't know if you were completed, if they did an expense out on the CDBG.
the commissioner called me 2 weeks ago, and she said it was still a vote, it happened, but that she was going to be recommending a certain grant for us. And,
Any idea how much?
Huh?
Any idea?
I don't know, you have to do with it. Yeah, I don't know, she told me that's it, that's about it. It could be, but yeah, but she's definitely putting it on for us. But hopefully get out by the next meeting. So if that's the case, hopefully we can knock off our, maybe, it'd be nice to do one, priority for a year. My own non-engineer expertise seems to be bar on the road here, which is starting to get base failure. And then even Benton City going to a bar on the 35, we need to fix the edges because it's starting to keep it. Right. Well, it's just one of those things where you gotta see where there's potential base failure. Because my understanding is, you know, if all we're having to do is chip seal and repair edging, that's one thing. If there's base, like on Ormy Road, there's base failure, you have to reconstruct it. So we're talking, you know, double, triple, quadruple price to repair that. We should have been doing chip sealing every year. We gotta get back on that schedule.
It was 2019.
Well,
And I can't bring it up. Since I came back as a commissioner. Now you're dealing with the road fund, so we don't have any money.
we didn't do it, we just put it in general, we just have to budget it for street maintenance. And that was we had 1.2 million in savings, 10 years ago, that was for road construction, and now it's down to like 200 or something.
So we had to use it to balance our budget.
building that up again. And we gotta make sure that every year we can do a meaningful chunk of road, and we gotta prioritize when we can get grant funding, the roads that are, that we can salvage before we have to reconstruct. To get it back on. If we can do a schedule, I was like, hey, keep it on a 10-year, you know, it'll be forever. You gotta chip seal them, and we can make sure we're plugging potholes. And it's where people turn the tires. So, one I see every day from about Ormy Road, Mid City. So we can keep it up to date, but patching that before so we can get the other thing we did in the past that was cost saving was the Somerset was doing a significant amount of road construction. We were able to get the contractor, the same contractor, because of one, we're not dealing with $1 at a time, and so the location fees were substantial. And so finding people that were doing construction or road work near us, we negotiated for no location fees.
Maybe we can put a county on it too. I know, like, for example, they're working 1604,
Right.
like, on.
So we could just have it, yeah, their equipment's already here.
Again, we got stuff on 5 feet. I have left y'all a sheet on there. I know by the time y'all get out of there, if you're anything like me, at 1 o'clock in the morning, something's pinging in your head, please take that sheet home. Think about projects you want done, and then give it back to me in the next meeting.
And I do think soccer fields in the back are maybe a little cost. I think we can do, we just have to grade the land, you know,
Yeah.
so maybe something important. All right, so keep this email up to you.
Just give me an idea where to start doing with the capital project, so I can see what I can work in the budget, what I can.
All right, discuss consider the 2027 ad valorem tax rate based on preliminary county reports.
So, taxes are always a voting issue, and you have to go over them each time. Any preliminary reports came out with it. With the protest of last year, our taxes have not gone up more than about $1,000 based on taxes. So our last year's net totals were right at 92,458,000, and they're 92,267,000 last year. Very good. So those totals aren't going to change, so you can pretty much guess that your TNT worksheet, your tax imputation worksheet that I do for you is not going to change very much either. Now, the good part was, is I'm seeing a lot of new homes on our grand total list. You got to remember that on these ad valorem, I usually don't see them on the tax rolls for about 2 years after they have been installed or approved. So we should be seeing some changes within the next years. Now I need commissioners and the mayor to kind of give me some kind of direction on what you would like to do with the tax rates.
What did yes, or what would be collect last year?
It was 13%, and our budget was, year at.
We bring this up again. We have people around here that are not paying the taxes what we pay.
Yes, sir.
And we have no idea. Do that. Businesses here are not paying the proper taxes.
I wish I could be like the monopoly person and go around and do everybody's taxes and yell at them, but that's up to the attorney and the comptroller.
You know about sales tax?
Can't you get taxes corrected?
You can call in a complaint. Now, I will tell you this, I have recently been open records request with the comptroller because I'm trying to get the list in of all our taxpaying entities here in town, just so I can look at some stuff, and once I get that, I can share that with the council, other commissioners.
What is the rate for?
The rate per 100, it was 13 cents. 13 cents per 100 is what you approved last year.
And we brought this ad valorem.
And we brought it down. So I think I came in the minimum is 30 cents, and it was 16. I can't remember what my voter approval rate was. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't see a header here. Is this at 94,000?
The 109.
109, which was assessed.
No, sir. 109 is what I budgeted. That was the income that would be budgeted coming in based on 13%.
That was last year.
This is your budget. this is your current rent collected. This is current collected, this is my budget, and that's what I'm assuming that we're gonna do for the next year.
People over 65.
I do, I have that list if you wanna know.
So we only assessed 109,540.
We budgeted under 9,000. I budgeted that revenue to come in based on the 13 cents per 100 that you did. We have collected what's under
94,000.
Yeah. And that's kind of right. You always want to stay around 4%, 6% before you start really the concern. But that's normal to have a 4 or 6% variance on your annual.
But our total revenue estimate was 1.149, 1,049,000.
Total revenue, but only with total, not everyone.
No, I know.
Yes, yes.
I'm just trying to say,
Yeah.
so roughly,
A
is
total
that 9% or 8% of our budget? So, again, I think we can find 9% in our budget to eliminate the property tax. So, I mean, is there a way, I know we're throwing more work on you, but we can have that as an assumption, and then we can
An assumption to where we would go with.
zero.
Wait, I can build the budget at zero, and we can look and see where we stand. I just need the direction from you, whether it's all.
What we talk about, what we're having is try to build a budget so we see what it looks like.
As long as you're using money for the streets.
Absolutely.
And you gotta have money. It's not cheap.
We
They
bring
were
away
bringing out the streets on my feet. For next 2 years. Don't worry.
Okay. All right, is that right?
Raymond had asked me a question about over 65. We have 117 homes at the over 65 out of all the homes here. I don't have a total, but we have 117 that are over 65.
We don't pay that.
They pay a cap. There's it's a cap. They still pay some taxes. Everybody, that's an assumption I get from a lot of cities is that once you get 65, that you don't pay taxes anymore. It's not like that. It's a cap. Yeah, you still have to pay some tax.
You can defer that, it's possible, but then, you pass away or whatever, you know.
And it's not good.
The one thing we have to monitor is, I know the governor and Lieutenant Governor both pushing big property tax reform initiatives.
I'm watching that very closely. I can't see it passing, but that's just.
So the governor's proposal is to eliminate the school tax and replace it with state funding, which would give us, 50-60% off. They could, and that's what he's trying to do. The lieutenant governor is trying to add a whole bunch of more, like instead of over 65, make it over 55. And more carve outs kind of thing. But it would apply to all taxing jurisdictions. So if the governor's plan goes through, then you could see, half your tax will go away, but it wouldn't affect the city or the DMV or the hospital. Lieutenant governor's plan comes in and will affect everybody across the board. It's gonna be something, we're gonna do something, and so we gotta monitor that as well. Well, again, another reason to not lean so much on the property tax, is they're gonna be, at least in Austin, continually trying to whittle it down. I know Florida eliminated property taxes. Politics, Florida beats us, and what Texas has to do with next. There'll be some initiative to that.
The impact that for the over 65 is only is 535,000. I know that seems like a lot of money, but it's not when it comes to tax. Lower? No.
Another 20 years.
We'll see.
Okay, D, discuss, consider, take possible action regarding personnel changes and related budget impacts.
That was something that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go through.
Sure, one thing we had talked about earlier, like we talked about like TMRS, one of the issues we're having with the budget is, the fact that we're using, W-2 employees, which require us to pay Social Security, CMRS, all these other fees really exaggerates the cost. So on some of these, like for example, public works, right, we have two personnel. Looks like we're doing pretty good with one. I think if there's any overage or extra, we do have a contract person. We could bid it out. We have plenty of people in town that can cut grass and move trees and remove graffiti, that kind of stuff. And then we don't have to pay all these extra fees, which we can either place elsewhere, like road repairs, or even raise salaries. And so one of the things I have to look at, and I know we're just starting this process, is looking at the percent of the budget that goes to overhead, administration overhead, versus services to the citizens of the city. And we used to try to keep a pretty tight ship of it being no more than 40% administrative overhead, so 60% was direct services. And I think we've kind of flipped it. It's kind of now 60% overhead, 40% services. So I'd like to get a clear, percentage numerical assessment of that we can show everybody, and then use that as a guidepost to start moving the budgets year over year back towards where we're giving the majority of the money that the city spends is for direct services, whether it's cutting the grass in the park or public safety patrol, that kind of stuff, and just give us a benchmark on how much overhead are we spending on that specific service, and can we do it at a better rate? Classic example is animal control, right? We have an officer, they have insurance and this and that, versus maybe a contract person, where the overhead or cost might be less, plus it's probably better for that specific position to have somebody who's into animals, if you will, to do that position. So anyway, looking at that, whether we eliminate a position or two, or switch them over to contractors to save on some of the administrative overhead, I think we can really bring down some of that overhead. So that's what I would like to do, is just basically say no new W-2 employees as we fill these positions. At least initially try to do it as 10 contractors. For delivery of all that service. And some things you gotta have as employees, I get that. But some of these good works, and even some of the additional clerical staff, part-time,
So we,
No, we
I
don't.
have talked to the, I'm sorry. I've talked to Jacob and that as of right now, I think we're doing really well, but just with the three of us. Jacob, do you have anything to say? We have to work in you, or
Just when we talk about graffiti, there's some areas like the Shell station and the highway.
Right.
I can't touch, because if I start paying over TechDot stuff, TechDot come out of the city. Same thing as the Shell. So guys, I went and talked to them personally, like, hey, is there anyone who might go and do it for free? Because that's what they used to do when I was a manager at U-Haul. That does not paint it, but it's white. There's a couple signs that I did already get some off. Next day, it's there again. If I'm using too much of it, it's gonna strip it.
Yeah, well, on those issues, you might need to sit down. We met with TechStop a few months ago. Yes, they're like, man, we do all the graffiti. We're not gonna have a problem, but we can get with the district engineer, get confirmation on it. They even said they have.
so I
And
know
if
they,
they want to leave a
I
month
know
or
that
two
they-
of paint that they keep them from coming out there.
Yeah.
And move back in, like, I'll go slide a little later on and monitor it, but.
I know that they told us to, but I don't know if all y'all saw that Jacob rubbed off the letter, what does it say?
Deals with it, but it says R-A-T.
Yield to rat. That's Jacob. He did that.
So yeah, no, we think for addressing those, but yeah, we need to get a policy that protects that property. And then, Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong, I know they passed that removal reform a few years ago, but, I know we have to offer free removal, but if they reject it, then the city can fine them, right? So, but we have to offer it for free, but, you know, I know I say all the time, but we need to have a graffiti, as a graffiti-free city as possible. It's, you know, our kids see that, we can't say this is acceptable. If we're having to repaint it every day, that's what I'm saying, we need a contract or something. Your job is.
That's the things that everything else I think you're handling pretty well. He's
Yeah.
not super stressed about anything, but it's just the graffiti. Every time we get it done, he'll go out and clean it, and he comes back and it's there when I come back to work.
I think what comments immediately take that. So we're gonna have a battle, and then he can get up there with cameras, and just doing it. But we gotta have a clean city. I'm a big believer in the broken windows theory. Let the graffiti, and people think this is a place that you come and be crying. This is a place that people don't care about. And it's the opposite. Yeah. So if we need to meet with Michelle, we can, but we need to send them a formal letter saying, hey, we want to have an ongoing agreement that there's a graffiti, we can remove it, the ones that we have to. And if they ignore it or don't give us permission, then we write a citation. And I think eventually, I don't know why they would want to have graffiti on their property. And or maybe we get some of those attractive things removed, like those barricades, this perfect wall. I don't know why they're there, maybe something they can remove with a chain or something else. Less attractive graffiti. But I thank you for all your efforts. It's as much of a graffiti free city we can get. I don't know if the court can help us assign people to clean graffiti or whatever other.
I mean, I think we can, it wouldn't stop us, we could. It's just.
Could they be reluctant to have forced volunteers for that? But we can explore maybe.
It is, I mean, the signs are applied, he has to take them down.
Yeah.
There's physical
Maybe
neighbors.
folks in the community might help volunteer for that graffiti removal drive or, especially those problematic areas. It depends on the instructor. We can provide.
Like going back to the contract vendors, I think things are working right now. Jacob seems to be okay with the way things are. Jennifer, we had talked about it, she doesn't seem, she's doing court, I do as secretarial, I kind of jump in when she needs me. I am doing the finance and the administrative work, but I'm okay with that. I'm doing okay with it. And I do have somebody helping me, helping around the office right now. And she's so wonderful, so I think we have a better control.
I guess as far as the budget is, if there's room, we can make it just like a generic line item for contract labor if something comes up. Or we have a public works issue that we need additional labor.
So I did work it in there for us, I'm assuming that we're gonna have time, and then we have storm manager, big 73 second, that kind of stuff, I'm trying to budget that. I just need to know how much, but first I've got to get the revenues in order with what y'all are telling me to do, and then I can work on expenses.
E is discuss and review the preliminary budget for fiscal year.
So that is what is in front of you, and I don't know if you need a line item, or big pictures, whatever, like take this home, look at it, or you can really kind of more absorb it. I've made it as simple as possible to look at per page. I would, if you want to glance at it right now and ask a question, kind of where I'm at, it's based upon last year's budget, with a little bit of changes, based on the history of the revenues and expenses of the year that I have this year.
And I said just for clarity, the first column is what we brought in year to date.
The first column is your year-to-date, I should put that on there, sorry. The second column is your budgeted year, the adopted budget, and your third is my projected year for the 26-27.
So for example, I mean, the first thing that jumps out is zero.
On the contract, Jacob, the attorney, I have to always say that, it's not one of Jacob's public works, but Jacob, the attorney, and I are looking into that. It seems that there have been some changes into the contract with Chicon, and I'm trying to review the contract, Jacob and I will look at it. The way it is structured currently in the system is that the contract towing goes into impound fees, that we were absorbing through impound fees. But the problem was there wasn't a budget adjustment done for that 45,000, so That's, that's why I left it open.
Gotcha.
If,
So it's elsewhere.
impact fees, I mean, income fees, but I mean, there's more to just also that when it comes to the income fees. Because we have our administrative fees and daily fees and all that, so does it need to get broken out? Do you want to break it out? It's up to you on how you want me to resolve.
Well, we probably need to see that.
It's on another page for you. But, the attorney and I are gonna go over that contract and make sure that we are up to date on all that here shortly. So the bigger ones for us is our CPS fees, our franchise fees, and we know we don't really get the big ones until the third quarter of the month, that should be coming in. But we're doing pretty well right now, we're at 30,000, so we're seeing a little bit more based on average. And Tiger, we just had the meeting, not too long ago, and I think are you trying to adjust that?
Yeah, we talked to them, we had a discussion about, their wrongful charge of, fuel surcharges. And we had some questions about recycling, they were supposed to get back to us by the end of this month, with a proposal for remedies. See how that goes, we did send a letter of notice of default on the contract. Some of the law sat down and went over the issues. So we'll see what comes of that. So
Any changes on the franchise fee, or we go stick with that?
that's part of the contract negotiation. So the problem I have with most of these utility franchise fees is they'll say whatever you want, because all they're going to do is tack it onto the bill. What we want is a true franchise fee, which is coming out of their profits. So I don't want to just say everyone's trash bill goes up $20 and you get $20. Right? So that's part of what we're going to see the proposal and go back and forth.
So were they supposed to, Tiger, were they supposed to take off that fuel surcharge?
They said they had removed it. If you haven't, send me your bill. So we can talk about that. And we were talking about ways to reimburse them. The problem is not everybody's bill. So we're looking at reimbursement through future discounted service, across the board.
I just contacted them with my rental down the road, and I told them that the city of Ormy, and I was supposed to charge a fee, and they said no. They said,
Yep. It's every bill, so raising it again. All under the current contract, any fuel surcharge requires council approval. That's for contract. And I already like, when they were charging it, fuel was cheap. If anything, now maybe there's an argument. At this point, they were,
and they took my fee off.
they took one out.
See, and I told them that. I said, no, my neighbor, that was right down the road, they took.
That's in the city. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, it should be on.
Can we go back to?
Excuse me, so portion?
I keep hearing you, the money from the nothing to.
Let me get to that, you're jumping way ahead on me.
No,
You're jumping way ahead, but yeah, that's something I have to get direction from y'all on what you want to do. On that.
So on building permits, I budgeted $150,000, we got $2,800. So we got a significantly adjust, you got down to 20.
So I needed the approved fees, for what I'll do tonight, and then based upon, I'm gonna go to the history based on what we've done for the year. And that's how I was gonna format it, based upon the new fees. But the 150 is not viable. Unless there's something y'all know about.
Food permits, is that restaurants or is that like taco trucks?
That is a mixture, what did you put there?
Yeah.
For the food permits, at 290. No, what do you put for food permits? Food trucks, vendors, I have to look at it, I really don't know. I'm assuming that's what it was food trucks probably, or either, maybe something, if y'all had vendors coming serving food at events or something, maybe that had to be done. If you look it up. And
Yeah.
yard sales numbers, you don't have that much of.
The impound lot revenue, we had estimated 120, we collected 73.
Remember, we gotta have the offset for Chicago on that, that's one, I'll show you in a minute. Now, at the 120, this is based on your May numbers,
Yeah.
so, we're probably gonna make our mark, we're okay
we want to be more conservative and just if it's, the traffic violations, they budgeted for 500, and we got
24, absolutely. So, I had pulled all the movement and ticket writing and stuff like that that was out there. It seemed that we had a pretty big decline after, I would say, February. It went downhill really bad. So, I had talked to the intern chief about it and, we can improve our policing, doing more, getting more on the road. He does have a plan for that, which he was gonna talk to you about. Will we make that 500,000 mark?
We'll come close.
Okay. He said he will.
If we implement the plan, I think so, but that's not up to me.
Now, one thing I am saying is having Orlando in there, Officer Lucas has been wonderful about bringing in tickets for me. He's bringing in anywhere payments of 30 to, how many did you just give me, Jennifer, 30 tickets? He's on warrants, I'm sorry, warrants, he's starting to go up. If he keeps going at this rate, we would probably have another $50,000 or $60,000 in there, but I personally, I think we're gonna make maybe 250. That's my guess.
Well, I think it's wise for next year to bring it down. Again, if it actualizes, we can adjust.
I'm not sure where the $500,000 came from.
Yeah. Okay, sponsorships.
So we had sponsorships in the statute fund, kind of after one, I separated them because I want to be able to track them. That's kind of a mixture of the stuff that we have going on. I'm just waiting on that kind of to come in. Refund and other revenues. Sometimes we get refunds from our county. There's different stuff that come in out of there because that can vary. I just threw 5,000 in there because you never really know, because I've got to be able to put in other type of revenue somewhere. Building inspections, that's one thing that I was talking with Brandon about tonight. Last year, we had a budget of 6,200. We're not seeing that as much because of the way the fee schedule is. I dropped it down half, but I wanted to talk to y'all about that before I go any further with that.
Well, I guess there's something how we have to keep schedule.
Yeah, so I can go next upon average. Health inspection revenue, we really haven't brought in much at all because we're deferring it out to the, yeah. So, but I did put some in there. Tax receipts, the ARPA, I know you and I are working on stuff with that, I'm kind of waiting on you to see how we're gonna get with that, so I did not plug any money in this year. As a warm tax revenue, I did drop it to 100,000, just because, you always have a 4 to 6%, that you do not collect every year, that's very common in every city. School crossing guard, is coming in about $200 to $300. No, we don't. So by law, I'm supposed to give that back to the school. So, I have printed out the information and I was going to give it to them. We are supposed to offset it to usually back to the school. That's happened in 2 other cities. Now, the attorneys can advise me on what they want to do otherwise, but I would say from an accounting standpoint that washes through and goes back over to Southwest or whoever your. I mean, I think everybody needs crossing guard, mostly over there by that, when you and I have that meeting at, where there's 50 of them crossing there.
So if we wanted to hire a crossing guard, we would have $200.
I don't think we can hire them, I think it has to go through the school.
Okay.
I don't know, I'd have to look at that, but I'm almost positive that every other city that what I do is that it comes in and it's a complete wash and I make that check back out to the nearest school. But Jacob, I'm working on it, I can send him the stuff for the government code on that, on what I have to do on how I can report.
Okay.
But you're getting around 100, I think it's 160 to 250, depending on how many registrations are done in your county, it's divided up.
All right.
Sales tax revenue, we have seen a jump in sales tax right now. That's a good thing. I am doing a little research on that to find out exactly where it's coming from to make sure it's legit, but I think that we're gonna be okay with at least, 600,000.
we got a $150,000. We're trying to make sure it's,
We got 153, but then I only got 63,000 this month. So I just before you get to it,
making sure it isn't.
Yeah. make sure it's
That'll be nice one time.
I went ahead, I think we are going to see it up in that, because we do have some new businesses that are coming in. So that'll give us the total revenues. Last year we had, that was with the art grant though, so I don't want to say 3%. I think realistically, we're looking at 1.2 million for the revenues that come in. And then we were talking expenses wise, for your, pass-through administrator in the front office, the total fees, once you've paid the wages and fees, taxes, TMRS, and not paying a health insurance on that person, that came out, your total liability to the city came out to about $93,000. So that is an open position right now, depending on what y'all want to do with it. Administrative in here, communications, all that kind of stuff that you see, that's just my normal everyday costs that's in there. My big ones that are gonna jump out at you are gonna be my city health or city insurance expense. That is my TML, IRP. So that is our workers' comp insurance, insurance on vehicles, insurance on just the items, fixed assets we have. So I'm expecting that to jump up. Every year in about November, we always have a TML audit. So we will go through it, we will adjust anything that's in there, and I can see if I can get it as low as we can. We did do the audit last year, but I don't expect it to be much different. Maybe a little bit, a little bit.
Have we done like a city inventory audit recently?
No, sir,
Vehicle
so I don't,
ranges.
but on the big inventories, I have to do that for the audit, just, what I did is I tried to pick everything in the city that has a value of over $5,000 and a life value of over 2 years. That's kind of how auditors look at things. That's how I have your fixed assets at the moment, but I really do need to do a complete fixed asset list when I have time. But no, we don't have a fixed asset list. What you're looking for. Health insurance expense last year, they budgeted $30,000. I need to know from the county commissioners and the mayor, if y'all would like, how you want me to handle that. There's a lot of employees that do need health insurance. I know it's an extreme expense. It's running about $1,000 an employee, up to, if they have family, it could be up to $4,000 an employee. Now, last year, I had called TML Health, Texas Health, they were in the name. We were too small of a city here to be able for him to even cover us. He needed at least 15 employees. So the only thing that his option was to go back to the Obamacare health, what was it? The marketplace, to try to do that. I can look and get you some numbers, but I still see it being about, just for one person, without really about $1,200.
Who do you use?
I can tell you the name of it right now. They get reimbursed, the employees pay it and it's reimbursed through checks.
You know,
The partial is reimbursed through checks.
I don't know if there's any other options. I know ESDs just formed their own health insurance school. Dramatically lower than they all put together.
We don't put it through.
No, but I can tell you the director of it. I mean, who put it together? What they were basically saying is that it doesn't really it doesn't necessarily lower the cost today, but it lowered the anticipated growth significantly over time. Self-insurance, same thing, you either reimburse a year less, and things like they had 2 employees be diagnosed with diabetes, and so they went and specifically made contracts with their doctors to lower the fee. And well, anyway, it sounded like a good insurance base. We really focused on making sure covered match right? So the firefighter have to have a interest to cover that versus the off-the-shelf project child has specific condition, they would make sure they got contracts with those doctors or that group. That's where the phone call.
I can see it. But do you want me to leave that 30,000 that we have in there?
I mean, for now, I mean, absent us find something better or cheaper.
The rest of that is just pretty much material supplies. That was me working part-time, as the bookkeeper, as was called. The fiscal audit still been almost about 25,000, maybe hopefully really less this year. City planner, he's kind of roughed it up in there. I've got him in two different areas, because sometimes he's working permits and sometimes he's working capital projects. So I've got him at about 70, but I have a little bit of cushion in there in case, the sewer project can get one. I didn't put anything in there for the ARPA because I want to hear that. I don't want to project any money coming in. And I didn't put anything for city engineer because I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. City attorney fees, I kind of kept them where they were unless we hear they're going up on the early rates. I would need to know. And the court prosecutor expenses, same thing. Lineberger is running, he's doing pretty good right now. I know she didn't put a line item in last year, but I'm suspecting based upon the history of what I've been seeing since we got this up, that we're going to be paying probably about 9,000, not 14. But I just did it on the last three months. But we have, I would say in the last 3 months, we finally got the system up and running. So they are collecting on a lot more than they normally would because Jennifer was just not getting the CDS reports from the way. So I think it's going to slow down. Levy fees, of course, that's could change a little bit. I can run a little bit higher on that just because of the number of parcels I have on the tax report. So on the next page is the one that I really wanted to talk about. That's the impound lot to the towing expense. So I guess I'm going to put that in there. The towing expense for me is about $60,000 a year per, I guess, the contract. But again, I need to go over. We have paid out $46,000 to date. And our impound lot has taken in revenue of $73,000. So that's something I want y'all to think about.
What's all of it?
We're watching.
90%, yeah.
We're watching. We need to think about that.
Okay.
And that's not including that there is admin fees, Jennifer working at the police going out there having to deal with it over, there's a lot of internal overhead and burden that is not being taken in there, but still there's stuff. Abel had to spend hours to getting the paperwork done so we could come up with notices on that. So he probably spent half a day or more on that. So there's a lot of overhead and burden on that, and here it's not being admin, so I'm gonna say it's a complete wash. When I was hoping we were gonna get a little bit more revenue last year, we started that. The next line is the tax notes. We're running, that's the one of the day. So we saw a couple more years on that, but that's kind of a flat rate that's going to go in.
This is our last year.
Maybe it is. It's only, yeah. I need to look it up and see.
Is it advisable or feasible, even if it is, to refinance it?
Yep, we always do.
So
Now that we have a current audit that's got a positive, yeah.
instead of paying 50, pay 5 a year for,
Absolutely.
and then pay it as, if we have surplus.
I can reach out to them. Utility wise, I just kind of did an average bill for last year of what's coming in based upon last year and the last 6 months. Electricity is probably, I think it's going to go up just a little bit, but the rest of that's just stuff that randomly comes in at the city. Nothing out of the ordinary from last year. City events. This is where I need y'all to kind of give me some kind of direction on where I wanted to go and what events y'all want me to look at. Last year we budgeted $15,000 total for the events. I've expended $9,903. That leaves us a little bit left over for the 250th and the Jalapeno Festival. But do y'all want to keep it at the $15,000 this year and divide up all the different events that we will approve in future meetings for that amount?
I would, because that's something we often.
You want to say at 15 or higher, lower?
Well, I would, as a beginning budget, yes, and just,
15?
and because right now, I think we certainly spend more like a Christmas and Mother's Day
Yeah.
kind of thing, and then you can see what, if we have to make cuts,
could probably figure it out, I mean, it's noted in there, but it's gonna take, I have to go look it up, but I really don't know off the top of my head.
I heard it was a flop. Why do we spend so much money on it? Oh, you weren't here.
So I would like just the direction of, if you, do you want to break the 1,500 to base upon and average it what we spent for?
And if we can, I mean, if we have things like a bit planner, one of the ways we
Yes.
want to watch things. We used to have some great, we used to have like a zombie wall. It brought in lots of folks.
So this is kind of a carryover to the other one, I just wanted to bring that up, so because that is something I need to bring up now. The rest of these memberships, city improvements, this little stuff, and this is all based around city hall, non-city departments.
I would like to see, if it's feasible, a larger percent for building improvements. And then like blue building, it needs painting inside, I think we could resolve some of these issues if it's something. So,
What number would you like me to say?
I mean, 15, 20,000, it's,
I have some capital improvements by the back. And the next page is animal control. I am breaking out these into departments. I don't have a lot in the animal control right now because I need more direction on the conditions that we're going to put on tonight. So I can go ahead and try to put in a part-time person there. And I have put in 2 minimal items in there. If there's anything else, please let me know what you think you need for animal control. The next one would be court. Court pretty much just consists of Jennifer and then Jacob does work based for me. Jacob does in public works, does. He comes in and helps, and he can do anything from take money to work the system. He's very good with the computer, so he's wonderful to have around. As Jennifer works the papers and making sure that we're compliant on all the other stuff that we have to have in for the court cases. So I only have her salary that's in there, but that is the total what it is to have a full-time court person.
what are taxes?
Taxes are going to be your, just what the liabilities are to the city, so just your FICA, your matching.
Of wages.
Yes. That's just your liabilities. And then your TMRS liability, that's not her matching, that's something else. And then I did, that was her health insurance for the year, we do pay partial on it, again, we're just gonna have to have some direction on which one we do with that. The next page is the court expenses, that's kind of where we're at. I did go up on postage just because we are sending out more notices, we have to send out show causes, we have to send out, warrants, there's a bunch of stuff that we send out, so, it wasn't really being divided the way I wanted it to, so I want the postage to actually show those report. The rest of the stuff is the judge's expense is another big one that comes in, and of course your state court costs. One of the things I hear in cities a lot is that the city's getting rich off of tickets, and it's the biggest blah I've ever heard, because as y'all see, even though we may bring them up, we're still paying $120,000 minimum, and I'm basing that $120,000 on $300,000 for the tickets. So we really don't make money on anything. So when they're out there saying, we're just paying our bills, we're not. Warrant expense, that is going to be the combination of Orlando doing his stuff for us. He does get paid a flat fee for every warrant that comes in, and of course the stuff that's going over the line, coming in from line butter, that we do pay them for that. And then service fees and stuff that we have in. I did put a little bit more in there. No, I didn't. I got it the same for training the court training. We don't have a courtroom clerk. Do we have to have one now?
I thought Jennifer was our fourth point.
She is, but do we have to have a certified court clerk by law?
She should be certified.
So we're gonna have to at least get her at least a level, or somebody a level 1. How long do I have? Do you wanna get with me later on?
It's a year, 6 months.
No, we can't be, because they have a year of training before they can even take the level 1 test. They only offer the level 1 test once a year.
So then, I'll look at it.
Okay, I just wanted to say we're compliant, but I did put some in there. I know that's a little high because we only have 1 court clerk this year, but I would like to see if there's gonna be hotel and all that were out there because she would have to go to, I think it's Georgetown, Corpus and McAllen. I think that's where the trains are and they're testing them. Looks like I put two things in his report, so we'll go ahead and flip that for me to the next page. The park, I am breaking up the park and do the park, part of the maintenance in the park, it was 15,000. Don't look at that number that I have in there for the 37. I think there's some expenses that I need to find out. If there's any park changes y'all want to see on there, we talked about painting and sanding and doing some stuff out there. We were going to try to find people to donate their time to do that. So, but if there's any capital improvements you want to the park, please let me know so I can work that in that 15,000.
You're not gonna get the donations, but you can start playing with things.
Oh, please.
Things that are there and all that stuff, so. You're not that much, but you know, it's
I'm
like
going to talk about what I'm talking about. Let's see what I can do. And then the porta johns, you know, they cost like $250 every time you come down here, to clean. So we will see what we, I got that a little bit high. But I also have the porta johns in here for the, I increased it a little bit more than last year because of the event. So police department, salary and wages, that's, in every city, that's always your highest, cost when it comes to labor wages when you have a municipality that are running police. So that is not really a super high cost in my opinion, that is very low. But that is where we're at. If you look at your taxes, TMRS, I don't think we have any money that is on insurance with PD. I can't think of another deduction. So everything together is 304,000. And that's based upon three full-time employees and two part-time employees. Unless y'all want to change that. At the current, and that is based on the current pay rate that y'all are doing. Place expenses come out to a little bit higher than most of the departments, but that's common. You know, fuel is always going to be the highest for the PD cars. They you know, they're moving around all the time. And then of course the vehicle leases are the other big expenses there.
When does this happen?
The leases, I'm gonna have to look. How long have we had?
2.5 years.
It was on a 5.
5 years at least.
So we've got those.
Right, Ms. Bailey? Has it been 3 years? Because there are O2s. So 3 years? Yeah.
But where they are, mileage, like lifespan, they last those 2 years?
Actually, the yellow one has lasted a long time. It only has about 60,000 miles on it. The problem is that they just sit and idle, and I kind of frown upon that because it uses gas and it's, you know, other wear and tear on it. But they don't, the officers don't use a lot of mileage. We're not a very large city. It's mainly tires, little things. The repairs on them are kind of expensive, but it's not as much as.
Do we have any, do we use all the vehicles we have, or is there any?
Yes, in fact, what I did was I took the truck and I put it on patrol because before it was a chief's truck, and I got my car. So I put that on patrol. So now I have all vehicles out. The problem is filling them. Yeah.
Didn't you have a couple works truck?
We just had the mechanic, he said it was in decent shape.
Yeah.
We just had it, yeah.
What year was that? That's not the old original one we got.
No.
I think it is good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is.
It is painted.
Yeah.
You guys like the old one?
Yeah. Yeah.
We just had service on it, said it's in great condition.
Well, whenever we get around to the fixed asset, I'd like to see breakdown like the leases, the mileage on each vehicle,
Yeah.
and estimated lifespan. We got stuff for replacement.
Normally they figure it's 5 years. Bear County replaces them every year. But they do either it's county. But for us, our lifespan was 5 years. So after the 5 years, we would trade them in for new ones, or we just pay the dollar and just keep what we have. So they're supposed to be ideally 5 years, but we were hoping to keep them longer. It was I wouldn't say there's no need to go into another expense, because it was very expensive to get those cars. That's why I'm big on maintenance, that way they last longer. Tires was a big issue, because we were getting tires from different vendors. I sourced the cheapest vendor in town, and that's where we're gonna start going. That'll save us quite a bit in maintenance. But I'll get that for you.
Other than that, I mean, you do have memberships and stuff that the PD has to do. We have a lot of yearly, what should I say?
Annual, like our watch cards, those are, the licenses are reset every year, kind of like Top Sequas. We have to pay those every year, because it's a year contract, for cloud service, basic, just anything we have. The new and blue our ticket writing system, our report writing system, those are all things we pay for annually. So
That's all wrapped in there, and that's a lot of the costs that go into there. So, I did put stuff in here for uniforms, and for new employees that were maybe Indian based upon conversations we've all had. So, and then of course training, that will have that, we do it every year. Public Works, this is a new department that I broke out this year as well. Salary and wages, based upon that old number there in the middle, that was based on 2 people. If we change to the 1 person and increase the salary to a more level wage what other cities are paying, this is kind of where it would end up if you want to go that direction.
One way to do it.
So that including, do you have health insurance? So he doesn't have health insurance in there, so, but, so that would be the total cost on that, and before, as you can see, it was almost double that. And then the final one is the public works, expense, and I kind of wrap streets in this too right now, because I want to make a streets department. Just for, hopefully, if we have a separate streets department, we can apply for grants and stuff, but I really want to separate it for that reason, but I'm working on that, I never got that far yet. So it's just fuel, materials, and tools that Jacob maybe would need training that we would send him to, that he needs anything. I did put the $150,000 in street repairs, but that barely buys enough of the chip maintenance that we need. And then street light expense, that is what we pay to CPS for the street lights. Welcome sign, I did put that back in there for 15,000. I think it's gonna be more than that. I really do. And then statue fund, that is the average that is coming in. I know y'all don't want to spend that right now, but I want to capture it.
That's the whole.
Yeah. I should both of them in there.
Okay, yeah.
Just in case I can work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in case I can work it out.
Should there be an item here for contract?
Oh, yeah, Julie, I'm sorry. I have that wrapped in administration, but I will, I'll have it.
And what about building maintenance?
Building maintenance, that I have under administration because the public works kind of works out of there, so I wrapped it all under the admin. So what did I put in there, 20 grand?
And we did have a maintenance plan on facilities.
Well, on that paper that I had given y'all to take home, if y'all could give me an idea of what y'all would like to see changed over at public works, over at City Hall, and the blue building hall, let me know, and then we'll see what the costs are.
Maybe I can schedule like how many more years we have on the roof, that kind of stuff, like what are gonna be, if we're estimating, we see like, that would be, hey, 2 or 3 years, we're gonna have to.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Something to say on that. No one really comes to the police department that much, but the building is breaking apart in half, lengthwise. It's been that way since we got it. So I don't know if, no one really comes and looks at it, but, the building is literally cracking in half. Right, Orlando? Yeah, that from.
Is it like a double, like it's got a C in it?
It was it was a mobile bank. So I want to say it was double wide, but it doesn't have, it has the seam on top. It's all carpeted on the bottom, so you can't see a seam like here, but you can see it on the top, and it's separating. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like ground shift.
It's I I'm assuming so, yes. I mean, it's been that way since I've been
Well,
Put
here.
down the list.
I can put it on the list, he gets money and he gives a quote.
Yeah. We got. So either. It just needs local.
Yeah, just,
We don't want it to get rained out there.
it's been 9 years, it's been that way for 9 years, so.
Maybe that's right. All right, are there any other questions on the speech we're into that?
So my biggest thing is y'all look at that, see if there's anything you want to change, that is very, very preliminary, very draft. And it just gives you something to work with, you just look at, and to see if maybe where we want to move money in from to the department. Keep in mind that my revenues are 1.2 million, and that doesn't go away.
Okay. Agenda number 6, discuss, consider, take possible action regarding additional budget items.
We will kind of do that.
Okay.
Stuff is really.
All right, from agenda item 7, which is adjournment. Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry, guys, I can't go as fast as I can, guys.
9:25 p.m. here.
I told you that we were gonna do that, but we didn't do that one time.
So Jacob used to set it up for me, and I'll take my computer over here and set it up. We're gonna do it next week. He just helped put that up for last week.
What?
What he did,
So that makes sense.
Take a little more to the side.
I know, there was no way to do it, so.
Would be better a little bit more to the sides.